Identity, we said that we have handed over their purse and the credit cards along with the identity card which he had to the police.
What was the name and the card, sir?
The detail you can get from the police.
How many have finally been able to what identity card?
So why do you think, was it becoming so difficult, why was it so time consuming in the sense, it was going on?
See, Taj has around, if I am not wrong, Taj has around 400 rooms. And we do not know the layout of that hotel. There was not much of staff. There were some policemen as well there, but they also probably did not know the layout fully, and hence we had to go wherever we had to go. We had to go on our own, trying to find our way out.
Finally, how many have you managed to kill? How many have been?
We are not aware how many have been killed. But see, when exchange of fire takes place in darkness, and there is blood all over, their bodies lying all over, you are actually not looking at who is injured or who is killed. You are just looking at somebody who has got some weapons on him. And let me tell you one thing, that when we first exchanged fire, we could have got those terrorists, but there was so much of the hotel guests there outside. The bodies were lying strewn here and there. There was all blood all over, and trying to avoid the casualty of those civilians, we had to be that much more careful in our firing.
When you were going up floor by floor,
how many casualties did you all find in the Taj? How many casualties were injured?
So around 5 to 6 people were evacuated who were injured, and around 15 odd bodies who had died. In fact, in between, let me also tell you this, that in between we were going searching for the rooms. There was one number person of the hotel staff who was guiding us as well, and he knew where the guests were. He would take us and ask us to help those people come out from the hotel. And in all, we had about a staff comprising of around 30 people were rescued from one place, and around 200 of the hotel guests were also rescued. And early in the morning at around 6:30, even MD of Taj, who was in one of the rooms, was also evacuated.
So during this entire
territory, really going through the rooms, like you said, did it make it more challenging and difficult?
Needless to say that yes.
Of course, what would you say about the training tactics?
Was there a hostage-like situation for the people?
The terrorists had locked up about 200 people in the adjacent room where the firefight actually took place. So once we had exchanged the firefight, we were confident that terrorists either have been killed or have moved out from there. We had actually entered the room, cleared the room, and got about 200 of people out at about 6:30 in the AM.
This is in the heritage wing?
Yeah, this is in the the new building.
6:30 today.
In the new building?
New building, second floor.
Was the mask, how was the attire like?
No, they did not have any masks or anything on them. They were putting on normal T-shirts.
Well
How
trained.
old were they? Can you describe the age?
They were not very old. They were about less than 30 years of age. 30.
Sir, would you answer what you said? How well trained were they? And how swift were their movements? Did they really look like?
I mean, were you engaging with specialists?
Well, say it definitely. It appears that they were trained. Not everybody can fire the AK series of weapons. Not everybody can throw grenades like that. So for using such weapons and explosives, it is obvious that they would have had been trained somewhere.
Sir, could you have any guesses about what type of, how many quantity-wise ammunition and grenades were with them?
That I've already said that the bag containing that ammunition was handed over to the
What
police.
was the nature of explosives that you found in that bags, everyone got exposed. How much and what was it? Could you elaborate?
No,
Other than the hand grenade, you said you found some explosives.
that is part of the explosives.
Nothing else.
There was a little bit of plastic explosive, PE.
So how different was then the Trident operations from Taj?
Ladies and gentlemen, I think
There were even in Trident, there were the similar kind of people. Whilst entering itself, they had started firing. Again, the same personality kind of people with no remorse. Anybody and whosoever came in front of them, they fired. They appear to be a determined lot, wanting to create and spread terror.
Was there any RDX in the explosives that you found?
No, I am not aware of the RDX, any RDX being used in this.
Any hall in the Trident, like you found in the Taj, anything you found in Trident?
No, in Trident there's not a hall, but they went to the Oberoi, wherein there are again around 365 rooms. Our team went from one part to the other, looking for the explosives, because as initially it was told that there would be some explosive. When the team went there, they found that the bodies were lying here and there again, and hence and they were also firing coming from various places. So it was not just that there was explosive, but also terrorists in there. There are probably 2 terrorists in Trident.
And how many in the Taj? Approximately?
Taj, we still do not know how many are there, but like I said earlier, we were told that there were 3 to 4 of these terrorists there.
सर अभी भी फायरिंग और ग्रेनेड्स अटैक शुरू है अभी कितना ज़्यादा संख्या की मात्रा में है?
जो आपको बताया कि पहले यहाँ पे हमें एक बैग मिला, उस बैग में अब 400 राउंड के आसपास एम्यूनिशन बताया आपको. वो ट्राइडेंट में भी उनके पास 2 रक्सैक्स देखे गए थे जब वो लेके गए हैं, और उन रक्सैक्स में भी काफ़ी मात्रा में आर्म्स एम्यूनिशन होगा, जिसकी वजह से वो अंधाधुंध फायरिंग किए जा रहे हैं.
जो आईडी का जो मिला है, डिजिटल आईडी क्या शो करता है और जो एटीएम कार्ड मिले क्या शो करता है?
ये आप अगर पुलिस डिपार्टमेंट से पता करें तो वो ज़्यादा बेहतर होगा. They had very well come prepared. I told you that they were determined to fire, and
I mean, how long could they have sustained fighting with that kind of ammunition if they were not killed?
they can go on and on.
So how many terrorists killed in Trident and how many still dead?
We don't know. We don't have the figures.
I think there are some general questions. Did the CCTVs provide any
Just give me a minute.
No, I said we could not go to. I could not.
Take on some general questions, and after that we would like to follow it up.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can. Okay, थोड़े बहुत हिंदी में मैं बता सकता हूँ.
Mix कर देना sir, mix कर देना.
कि जो मार्कोस जो मरीन कमांडो है, दे आर नॉट स्पेशली ट्रेन, उनको ट्रेनिंग नहीं देगा, ये अर्बन जैसे काम कर रहे हैं अभी. एनएससी इज बेटर ट्रेन, उनको ये स्पेशल ट्रेनिंग मिलता है, बट मार्कोस हैड कैपेबिलिटी टू डू दिस, सो देयरफॉर दे हैव प्रेस्ड इनटू सर्विस हियर. व्हेन एनएससी केम, जब 7 बजे एनएससी अराइव्ड ऑन द सीन, तो मार्कोस वेर ओनली सपोर्टिंग देम. We were left